Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtadasha Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Ashtadasha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Kunj Bihari, Radha Kunj Bihari Radhe. Hare Hare कीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्ण पादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घाय देहिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 2, text number 11. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochanan Pragyavadanshcha Bhashase Gatasunascha Nanu Shochanti Panditaha. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please read the translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Hmm. So Arjuna has spoken lot of wisdom, and Krishna is not approving it. Wisdom can be on different levels. Someone who is on passionate mode, his wisdom will be on one level. The one who is in goodness, his wisdom will be on higher level. And the one who is in transcendence, his wisdom will be further higher level. I will explain it. The one who is in mode of passion, for him to lose material possession is painful. Loss of money, loss of position, that is painful. For one who is in mode of goodness, loss of character is painful. And that is the kind of pain Arjuna is exhibiting. He's saying it is not good to kill our own relatives just to get the kingdom. This doesn't show good character. Just to get the kingdom, you kill your own relatives. Just like Aurangzeb, he imprisoned his own father just to get the kingdom and killed his brothers. Kamsa also did the same. He imprisoned his father, Ugrasen, just to get the kingdom. This is not a good character. So Arjuna is saying, I don't want to do like that. Just to get the kingdom, I will kill relatives. It is not good. So loss of character. This is very much painful for Arjuna. But then, loss of my dharma, which is on a higher level, to lose that is much more painful. You are showing your good character on the level of protecting your relatives. But you are losing your good character in terms of protecting the citizens, protecting the dharma in the kingdom. You are losing your character from that perspective. So that character is much higher. And so Arjuna is painful with the consideration of loss of character at the level of his family. So Krishna is saying, you spoke so many learned words and you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Why he was painful? He was feeling pain because of the loss of relatives. So Krishna is saying, those who are wise. So Krishna is bringing the wisdom on further higher level, that is spiritual. And the spiritual level, spirit never dies and body is always dead. At the spiritual level, spirit never dies and body is always dead. This body is dead. Spirit, which is alive, is existing inside the body, so body appears alive, but body is dead. Just like you may feel some light coming from a glass, but that glass is not emitting any light. That glass is only reflecting the light which is coming from the sun. So, like that, body is dead, body is not alive. It is showing only the life symptoms from the spirit, from where it is gathering the life. Understood? So, those who are wise, they will not bother at the loss of body, which is anyway dead. And Arjuna is having pain for that loss. So, Arjuna spoke the learned words from the level of character, worldly character. But Krishna is speaking the term wise from the level of spirit, spiritual wisdom. Understood? Just like someone may say that why to, just like child may say, oh, I lost the opportunity to play today. He is speaking from one level and he is feeling pain that I lost the opportunity to play today. And parents, they will say that because you didn't play today, so you could study well and thus you could pass the exam tomorrow. Otherwise, you would have to study again for 1 or 2 months to give another exam. So you got the, because you lost the play today, you got the opportunity to play for 2 months, for next 2 months peacefully. Understood? So that is higher wisdom. So Krishna is speaking from that higher wisdom, that those who are wise, those who understand the knowledge of soul and body, that body is always dead and soul is always alive, soul is never dead. They will never be painful. They will never express the pain for what is not worthy of grief. Loss of body is not worthy of grief. Now, everyone feels pain when the body is lost, isn't it? Everyone feels pain. So, two types of people are there. Everyone is feeling pain. Among them, we can divide them into two categories. One category of people, which is major category, they feel pain at the loss of body because they're attached to body. Body which is dead, they're attached to that. For example, small child, a small toy got broken and child is crying. Oh, this toy is broken. Now parents will say, why to bother about it? I will give you another 10 toys. It is not worthy of crying. Parents will say, it is not worthy of crying for this small toy. So like that Krishna is saying, it is not worthy of feeling grief for the loss of body. It is anyway dead. Like that. So those who are attached to the body, like child is attached to the toy, they feel pain at the loss of body. Another category of people also feel pain at the loss of body. But actually they are not feeling pain at the loss of body, they are feeling pain at the loss of association of that soul. Soul is not dead, but soul is not there with me now. When body dies, body is anyway dead. But soul is not dead, but soul has gone somewhere else. So this second category of people feel pain at the loss of body because they have lost the association of that good soul. Understood? They have lost the association of that good soul. Now, let's say mother is feeling pain at the loss of her son. So we will say to the mother that your body of your son is still here. Why are you crying? But she will also say that this body is not my son. The living person who was inside the body is my son. Agreed. Now that living person will come in another body, let's say rabbit body. Will that mother accept that rabbit as her son? That means her words were only external. The same son has come in the rabbit body. Are you going to accept it? No. That means you are attached to body only. You want your son in that body only. Understood? So it shows your attachment to body. Though you are saying no, that no, this body is not my son. My son is someone who was living inside the body. But still, your behavior shows that you are attached to the body. Understood? So when the soul, it may come in any body. If you are truly attached to the soul, you will be interested in it. So I don't have a practical example to explain it, but I will give you another example. Supreme Lord, he comes in so many different forms. That Lord may come in the form of fish, that Lord may come in the form of a swan, that Lord may come in the form of a lion, that Lord may come in the form of a horse. In every form, devotees are worshipping that Lord. They are not saying that, oh, my Lord is four-handed form, who carries Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. This is not my Lord. They don't say like that. Lord may come in any form. They are loving that Lord. Similarly, a soul, he may come in any form. If you are truly loving the soul, you will appreciate it. You will appreciate it. Bharat Maharaj, he died, and the soul went in the body of a deer. So, Lord was still concerned about it. The worldly people will not concern, will not bother about it. Oh, dear, like that people say. But Lord was still concerned about the Bharat who was now in deer body. And Lord gave him full remembrance about his past life so that he can be serious in this life, in his devotion. So, soul may go in any body. If you are truly loving that soul, you will do the needful. Otherwise, if we are attached to the body, then we cry for the body only. Understood? So, Krishna is saying those who are wise lament neither for the living nor for the dead. Because those who have the wisdom of soul and body, they will not lament for the living or for the dead. Because the one who is living, the soul, is always living. And the body, which is dead, is always dead. So why to lament? If some change happens, then you lament. Some negative change happens, then you lament. No negative change has happened. Then why to lament? Like that Krishna says. Read further. Purport.
The Lord at once took the position.
You don't want to use mic?
No.
Okay.
The Lord at once took the position of the teacher and chastised the student, calling him indirectly a fool.
Wait. This is important. Lord took the position of teacher and chastised the student. giving him food. This is the responsibility of a teacher. Unfortunately, students do not want to see teacher in this responsible manner. Even in regular schools, teachers are nowadays not so comfortable to chastise their students in spite of their mistakes. This is very unfortunate situation where teachers cannot chastise their students or parents cannot correct their children. Very unfortunate situation. If teacher is not going to correct, where is the good future for the child? Even if teacher is wrong in correction, correct, let's say, even if teacher is wrong in correction, it is good for the child to receive the chastisement. Even if teacher is wrong, still it is good for the child. What is the loss? If teacher just chastises the child without his mistake, what is the loss? So it is the responsibility of the teacher to chastise, and it is the duty of the student to accept it gratefully. And if the students are not showing that kind of attitude, then teachers also don't chastise. Teachers also do not chastise. And if teachers don't chastise, then it is very dangerous for the student's future. And all the more much dangerous for between when the exchange happens between spiritual master and disciple. If disciple is not submissive, disciple is not grateful, that spiritual master cannot chastise the disciple. There is a question that disciple will progress on the spiritual path. No question. At least sometimes we can say that student, if he is academically very brilliant, he will just study the books and pass the exam, maybe without the help of teacher. If student is so brilliant, but it can never happen on the spiritual path. Never, because in the spiritual path, your brilliance is not checked. Your character is checked. And if you are not submissive to your teacher, if you cannot listen to his chastisement, that itself shows the flaw in your character. So, no question that one can grow in bhakti. If one wants to grow in bhakti, one's character should be so pure that he should be ready to hear the negative comments from anyone. That much his heart should be so pure. Anyone may giving him any negative comment, he should be accepting it without any negative attitude against those people. And we have the examples of it in the scriptures. Haridas Thakur, he was beaten up by the Muslim soldiers in 22 marketplaces. And Haridas Thakur was praying for their deliverance. He was not having any negative feelings towards them. So speaking, someone spoke negative words against you is painful. But someone is beating you in public. It is visible to everyone that you are beaten up in public. That is much more insulting and painful. In that situation, Haridas Thakur is praying for their deliverance. This is devotion. So that much our heart should be so pure that we should be comfortable to accept the negative comments from anyone. Then what to speak of spiritual master? What to speak of spiritual master? And if we cannot hear from a spiritual master, if the spiritual master cannot chastise you, then what to speak of others? You understand? Then there is the growth in bhakti. No question that one can escape the bondage of this world if one's heart is not that much pure. So one has to purify their heart to this extent that he will accept all negative comments from others and still he will behave positively towards them. Lord Ramchandra, Kaikeyi, she was the one who turned the whole situation in one night. Ram was going to become the king, and next day Ram was going to the forest. Everyone knew that Kaikeyi is the cause, but still, in Ram's behavior towards Mother Kaikeyi, there was not a single spot of negativity towards her. Ram was accepting her as loving mother and with all following all etiquettes, offering her obeisances with gratitude. He left the kingdom, went to the forest. So this is how our heart should be purified. So it should begin at least to accept the chastisement from spiritual master. We have accepted him as Guru. So be ready to hear from him. If our acceptance of Guru is simply superficial, then he will not chastise and we will not grow, we will remain bound in the material world. It's very important. We should be so molded, so submissive that our Guru can chastise us without any without any hesitation. He can chastise us. That's how a disciple should be. So much malleable. That Guru can chastise him. So this is very important. Read further.
The Lord said, "You are talking like a learned man, but you don't know that one who is learned, one who knows what is body and what is soul, does not lament for any stage of the body, neither in the living nor in the dead condition, as
Yes.
explained in later chapters."
So yes, Hare Krishna. So if you are learned at the spiritual level, you will not lament for the body. But those who are learned at the spiritual level, they lament for the loss of association of soul. Not for the loss of soul, not for the loss of body. Hare Krishna. For the loss of association of soul, they lament. So their lamentation is completely different. It appears that they are also crying. Like when Srila Prabhupada departed, all the disciples in the whole world were crying. Everyone was crying. Why they were crying? Not for the loss of body or loss of soul, for the loss of association of spiritual master. So that crying is good. That crying is good. And yes, we have lost Srila Prabhupada, but still we are worshipping him. We still worship him every day. He is not in the same body as he used to be, but we worship him in his murti. And we accept that the same Srila Prabhupada is here to guide us through this murti. So, like that we accept him. So, our lamentation at the departure of Srila Prabhupada was for the loss of association of Srila Prabhupada. and we are maintaining that association through his murti and worshiping him. Okay, read further.
As explained in the later chapters, it will be clear that knowledge means to know matter and spirit and the controller of both.
Yes. So there are so much categories of knowledge. You can have knowledge of music, you can have knowledge of art, you can have knowledge of matter, so many different types of materials, chemicals. You can have knowledge of computer science, so many categories of knowledge. But in spite of all that knowledge, we are defeated. So, do you remember the story of one scholar was crossing the river with a boat? Do you know that story? One scholar was crossing a river with a boat. So Vivek Prabhu will tell. वो माइक चलेगा ना?
माइक नहीं चल रहा है।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, इस माइक में
नाही नाही प्रभूजी याचं काहीतरी ऑन नाही केलंय बट लाईट नाही लागली.
कोई बात नहीं, आप बोलिए ना इसमें।
माहिती नव्हती ना याचं बरोबर.
बोलिए बोलिए। ये स्टोरी बहुत अच्छा है।
हरे कृष्ण। वो जो स्कॉलर था वो एक बोट में जा रहा था और जो बोट का नाविक था उसको ये स्कॉलर ने पूछा था कि आपको कुछ कंप्यूटर के बारे में पता है या नहीं। तो उसने बोला मुझे कुछ नहीं पता। तो स्कॉलर ने बोला कि अरे तुम्हारा तो फिर 25% तुम्हारा जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया। मतलब इतने मॉडर्न जमाने में जीते हो, तुमको कंप्यूटर के बारे में कुछ नहीं पता। तो थोड़ी देर बाद उसने वापस से पूछा, उस नाविक ने पूछा ये क्या है आपके पास? तो उसने बोला ये स्मार्टफोन है। तो उसने बोला वो क्या होता है? तो स्कॉलर ने फिर से बोला अरे तुम्हें स्मार्टफोन के बारे में भी पता नहीं, तो फिर से तुम्हारा 50% जिंदगी खत्म हो गया, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं पता। और आगे जाने के बाद उसने
स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी।
हाँ
स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजी।
हाँ, तो स्पेस के बारे में कुछ पूछा कि तुम्हें पता है कि अभी क्या चल रहा है?
सैटेलाइट्स।
हाँ,
स्पेस में सैटेलाइट्स होता है।
स्पेस में जो सैटेलाइट्स होते हैं उसके बारे में कुछ पता है क्या तकनीकी के बारे में? तो उसने बोला मुझे नहीं पता। तो बोला तुम्हारा फिर 75% जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं पता। और थोड़ी समय बाद फिर उस नदी में बाढ़ आ जाती है और वो बोट अल्टी पल्टी होने लगती है। तो नाविक ने पूछा तुमको तैरना आता है क्या? तो इसने बोला मुझे तैरना नहीं आता। तो नाविक ने बोला तुम्हारा 100% जिंदगी बर्बाद हो जाएगा, तुम्हें कुछ नहीं आता। अरे वो
तो
कहने का तात्पर्य यही है कि आपको इस संसार का बहुत सारा ज्ञान आता हो, लेकिन आपको आत्मा और शरीर का भेद नहीं मालूम है, और इन दोनों का जो नियंता है भगवान, उनके बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है, तो आपका 100% जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया। ये सिर्फ कहानी के मात्र कहानी थी कि आपको तैरना नहीं आता तो जिंदगी बर्बाद हो, कहानी में है। लेकिन वास्तव में यदि आपको आत्मा, शरीर और भगवान के बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है तो वास्तव में आपका जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया। क्यों जिंदगी बर्बाद हो गया अगर आपको इनके बारे में ज्ञान नहीं है? क्योंकि जैसे उदाहरण के लिए आपके पास रेफ्रिजरेटर है और उस रेफ्रिजरेटर के अंदर आपने अपना सारा बुक्स रख दिया, तो बर्बाद कर देना रेफ्रिजरेटर को, उसका कुछ यूटिलिटी नहीं हुआ, बर्बाद कर दिया आपने रेफ्रिजरेटर को। उसी प्रकार से आपको मनुष्य शरीर प्राप्त हुआ, आप आत्मा, शरीर, भगवान के बारे में जान सकते थे और भगवत धाम जा सकते थे। आपने पशु की तरह व्यवहार किया और पशु बन गए, तो बर्बाद कर दिया आप अपने जीवन को। जिस प्रकार से रेफ्रिजरेटर को आपने कपबोर्ड बना दिया, उस प्रकार से आपने मनुष्य शरीर को पशु बना दिया, इसीलिए बर्बाद कर दिया। तो यदि आप आत्मा, शरीर और भगवान के बारे में नहीं समझते हो मनुष्य शरीर में, तो आप मनुष्य जीवन को बर्बाद कर रहे हो। ठीक है, तो यही बात यहाँ पर कही हुई है कि ज्ञान अर्थात आत्मा और शरीर और उनके नियंता को जानना। यदि इस ज्ञान को नहीं जानते हो तो आपका मनुष्य जीवन बर्बाद हो जाता है। इस ज्ञान को जानते हो और बाकी सब नहीं भी जानते हो तो भी कोई समस्या नहीं। हो सकता है इस संसार में आपको तकलीफ होगी, आपको कुछ नहीं आता है, आपको स्मार्टफोन का प्रयोग करना नहीं आता है, आपको कंप्यूटर का प्रयोग करना नहीं आता, आपको स्पेस के बारे में नहीं मालूम। हो सकता है इस संसार के जीवन में आपको थोड़ी तकलीफ होगी, लेकिन वास्तव में वो भी तकलीफ नहीं होगी क्योंकि भगवान है ना संभालने के लिए, वो भी तकलीफ नहीं होगी। लेकिन मान भी लिया कि आपको तकलीफ होगी, ठीक है, इस संसार की तकलीफ होगी, थोड़े समय की तकलीफ होगी, लेकिन बाद में तो भगवत धाम मिल जाएगा ना। लेकिन जिसको भगवान के बारे में ज्ञान नहीं, संसार का बहुत कुछ मालूम है, वो मान भी लिया कि उसको इस संसार का जीवन बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है, लेकिन उसके बाद तो फिर वो पशु बनेगा और फिर तो बहुत तकलीफ होगी। So to have the knowledge of soul and body and controller of that is most important. And in human body, we should try to acquire this important knowledge. Okay. Srila Prabhupada went to Russia. In Russia, he met a professor who was the head of the department of religion. And Srila Prabhupada was talking to this professor Kotowski, and he was trying to explain him the difference between soul and body for 2 hours. He did not understood. So he's a big professor, head of the department, but still he doesn't know this basic knowledge which every Indian knows. So his knowledge is useless. Understood? So this knowledge is very important to understand the difference between soul and body and the controller of both. And yes, you may have knowledge, but are you acting based on that knowledge? That is also important. Every smoking cigarette packet has the instruction: smoking is injurious to your health. You have knowledge. Every smoker has this knowledge, but still he smokes. That means he is not applying that knowledge. So to have this kind of knowledge is not good. Apply that knowledge. So apply the knowledge of soul, body, and the controller of both. God. Apply this knowledge. Your behavior should show that you are living with this knowledge. Then your life will be successful. Understood? This is how we are supposed to function. So you may say that how can we attain this level in just one day? Yeah, you cannot. But at least begin. To some extent, begin today, and gradually the improvement will be there. In 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, improvement will be there, and Krishna will make you grow. And what is the symptom that you are growing? You will not be affected by bodily disturbances. What is called not being affected by the bodily disturbance? Your duty will not be affected. You will continue to perform your duties in spite of all disturbances on the bodily level. Here, Arjuna is not performing his duty to fight, to protect the religion because of bodily disturbances. What kind of bodily disturbance? My relatives will die. Because of this bodily disturbance, Arjuna is not ready to perform his duty. So, he is not spiritually grown at this level. So, in our life, in spite of all bodily disturbances, material disturbances, I continue to perform my duty. That means I am spiritually grown. Simple example. So much cold is there. but still you wake up early in the morning and take bath. That shows that you are serious in spirituality. Of course, you can make the best of the arrangement. That is not denied. You can make the good arrangement for you, but you must follow the principles. And sometimes, because of some situation, if the arrangements are not there, still you should follow the principle. So Kumbh Mela was there in Allahabad, and it's very cold. Pune is also cold, but Allahabad is much cold because it's just on the Ganges bank, Prayag, and in January it is much more cold. And in that month, Kumbh Mela happens, and you take bath in Kumbh Mela early in the morning. So it's painful, but still, Srila Prabhupada, in spite of bad health, he took bath. And hot water was not there, cold water was there, still he took bath. So one has to be serious. Srila Prabhupada was in America. America is too cold, full of ice. And Srila Prabhupada had to go because the room Srila Prabhupada was staying was very small. The space only to sleep, and no facility to take bath, no facility to cook. Srila had to go to another place, the place where public bathing facility was there. So he has to come out of his room, walk on the road, which is very cold, icy, go to that place, take bath. So Srila Prabhupada, in his age of 70, alone, he did this. So this is how we are supposed to be very serious. You can make the best of the arrangement to follow the spiritual principles. But because of some reason, something, some situations, if the facility is not available, still we should try to follow the principles as best as possible. Sometimes we go for yatra, and yatra means we cannot make our good arrangements of Pune city there. Whatever is available there, that we have to accept. And it was too cold in Gaya, but still somehow hot water facility was there, but not inside the room. We managed it. It was very cold. The walls were cold, very cold. So we managed it. We went to Badrinath, very cold. There also hot water facility was not there inside the room. We had to get hot water from outside. Still we managed it. And sometimes, I think for one day facility, even that hot water facility was not there in the rooms. We were told that the hot water will be there, but because of some electricity failure, something, that facility was also not there. So devotees took bath. So like that, we have to become serious in our practice of bhakti. And when we are showing that seriousness, following the spiritual principles, that shows that we are growing on the spiritual path. That shows that we are implementing this knowledge of soul, body, and the controller of both about. Understood? We have to try this. We were in where? We were in, what is it? Srinathji's place. What is it? Nathdwara. Very cold it was, very cold. Still we managed. There also hot water facility was not there inside the room. Very cold it was. So we have to strive, and Krishna will help them. Yes, read further. Sorry, I gave detailed explanation, but it's good.
Arjun argued that religious principle should be given more importance than politics or sociology. But he did not know that knowledge of matter, soul, and the supreme is even more important than religious formalities or
Wait,
formularies.
wait, wait. So politics or sociology? Who is the inheritor of the kingdom? Who is the inheritor of this post? Isn't it? So someone may say, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he is the eldest son of the previous king Pandu. So he has the right to be the king. Another party will say, but previous to that, the eldest son was Dhritarashtra, and his eldest son is Duryodhana. Thus, he has the right to be the king. These arguments are political arguments. Okay, so this is one level of argument, or this one level of knowledge on the basis of which you are arguing. And who has the right to be the king? Okay, then higher than this is, so this is political knowledge or sociological knowledge. Higher than this is, Arjuna is saying, religious principle. What kind of religious principle? When Arjuna is hinting towards lower religious principle, principles of religious morality. Religious morality. What is religious morality? Do good to others. Don't harm others. This is a simple principle of religious morality. Do good to others. Don't harm others. What is good on this? Their understanding? Good for the body. Good for the body. Okay, good for the body. Do good for others. Do good for their bodily welfare. This is religious morality. Okay, these are moral principles. Don't smoke. This is moral principle. Why you should not smoke? Because if you are smoking, you are destroying your own body, you are destroying the nature and others' body also. Don't cut the trees. Why? Because if you cut the trees, you are disturbing the natural ecology of the nature. So these are all moral principles. Don't harm others. Do good to others. This is the basic principle of religious morality. So Arjuna spoke on that. Right? Why just to get the kingdom, just to confirm that who is the king, we will fight so much and kill so many people? This is not good. Better they be the king and avoid this kind of killing. This is a moral principle. So, so moral principles are higher than the political principles. Understood? Who is the owner of this land? Two brothers can fight. And the fight can go to such an extent that so much of quarrel among them, among the families, and so much of loss of money in the court. Fight can go to that extent. So, who is the owner of the land? So they can argue, they can give their knowledge, they will talk their knowledge, and they will argue. So this is one level of knowledge, political knowledge. Higher than this is one brother thinks, why to quarrel just for the land? Anyway, my life will go on with this small piece of land also. Why to quarrel? Anyway, we are brothers. He wants more land, let him take. Why to fight? This is a knowledge on the moral level. This is higher. Knowledge on the level of goodness is higher than the knowledge at the level of passion. Okay. So Arjuna's principles, principles of morality are higher than the political principles. But higher than that is the knowledge of soul, spiritual knowledge. Spiritual knowledge is higher than the religious knowledge, is higher than the academic knowledge. In simple terms, spiritual knowledge is higher than the religious knowledge, is higher than the academic knowledge. In the schools today, they are only teaching academic knowledge. And because they are taught only in academic knowledge, their character is very bad, even within the family. Even within the family. And it shows how they treat their family members. It shows very clearly. So character is not taught. And then what to speak of spiritual knowledge? So spiritual knowledge is very important. And the moral knowledge of the moral principles is also very important. Academic knowledge, that was not very much emphasized. If someone's nature is of Kshatriya, he will be taught archery. If someone's nature is of making pots, he will be taught pottery like that. He will make so many different types of pots and sell. Someone's nature is of farming, he will be taught farming like that. Not every knowledge is taught to every other person. As per their nature, knowledge was taught, academic knowledge. But moral knowledge of moral principles and spiritual knowledge was taught to everyone. Everyone. That is important. So Arjuna is speaking on the knowledge of moral principles, but Krishna is emphasizing spiritual knowledge. Okay. Read further.
And because he was lacking in that knowledge, he should not have posed himself as a very learned man.
Yeah. So someone may pose himself as learned man. For example, a student in class 5th who is a topper, he may pose himself as learned man. But in comparison to the student of class 8, he is not so much learned. It's like that. Arjuna is posing himself as very learned man in chapter 1. But in comparison to the spiritual knowledge, Arjuna is not very learned man. Read further.
As he did not happen to be very learned man, he was uh, consequently,
Consequently, lamenting.
consequently laminating for something which was unworthy of lamentation.
Yeah, so because you are not having the knowledge of spirit and body, you are lamenting for the body. Read further.
The body is born and is destined to be vanquished today or tomorrow. Therefore, the body is not as important as the soul. One who knows this is actually learned, and for him there is no cause for lamentation regardless of the condition of the material body.
Yeah. So because soul is unchangeable, soul never dies. So why to lament? Just for the body. So Srivas Thakur, his son died. Did I tell the story earlier? Srivas Thakur's son died. But Srivas, we were in Mayapur and we had gone to Srivas Thakur's home. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come every day to perform kirtan with all his associates. So kirtan was taking place and Srivas Thakur heard family ladies being crying. So he went inside. What is happening? So he saw that his son has died and all the ladies were crying. So Srivas, what did he do? He told all the ladies to stop crying. We don't want to disturb Mahaprabhu's kirtan with our crying. Stop crying. So because Srivas Thakur so much insisted, they stopped crying, although it was painful. And then Srivas Thakur explained. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing kirtan at our home, our son has left the body. What could be the better auspicious moment than this? Everyone has to leave the body at some point of time. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was at home doing such an ecstatic kirtan, our son has left the body while hearing that kirtan. This is glorious. Stop crying. See, this is the vision of Shiva's Thakur. So those who understand the knowledge of soul and body and the controller of both can react in this manner. Understood? Otherwise, normal people, they will inform Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, in your presence my son has died. Please revive my son back. How can this happen in your presence? Like that they will pray. Isn't it? This is how worldly people behave. Isn't it? Oh Lord, please bring back my son. And see how Shivas Thakur is behaving. Very auspicious moment that our son has died. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing kirtan. Very auspicious. So he asked all the ladies to stop crying and he came back where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing kirtan. Started dancing. Started dancing. Has ever anything happened like that? That someone in your family who is very dear has died and you are dancing? No one does it. Srivas Thakur was dancing with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doing kirtan. And then what happened? Kirtan continued for some time. After some time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped. And he asked, is everything alright? And no one said anything. Everyone said, everything is good. Shivas Thakur said, everything is okay. Let's continue keep doing kirtan. Mahaprabhu did kirtan. Again he stopped. Again, is everything alright? I feel something is improper, something is inauspicious. So Shivas Thakur this time could not say anything. Then other members who were there, they somehow understood that Shiva's son has died. So they informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Mahaprabhu, Shiva's son is dead already. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went inside the room. Then what you expect Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will do? What you expect?
He lifted Srivas Thakur's son
Ah,
and started dancing, so he came back to the life.
no, no, it didn't came back to life. That was Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did it. No. Huh?
But he didn't come back to life.
No. What Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said is, Shivas, you have lost one son. But me and Nityananda, we both are now your sons. Like that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Shivas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have revived son's body. But he did not do that. He told Shivas Thakur, me and Nityananda Prabhu, both are your sons now. Why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did like that? Just to show how the devotees' hearts are. And they have lost their son, but they got the Lord as their son. They lost their son, but they got the Lord as their son. So similarly, in our life, we may lose so many material things. Still, continue your devotional practice faithfully. And though you may have lost so many material things, you will get the Lord as your possession. What could be the better offer than this? You may lose all your material possessions, but you get the Lord in your heart. What could be better offer than this? But are we ready for this offer? So this is important. So Lord wanted to teach this important lesson that how devotees are so much devoted to the Supreme Lord. That in spite of losing their own son, they are not disturbed. They function on the level of this spiritual knowledge of body, soul, and the controller of both, God. And Shivastaka was happy. And see how Lord responded. So we should have faith that ultimately Lord is the controller. We may lose something material, but continue your devotional practice and you will get the Lord as your position. So this is how we should practice these principles in our life. So situations are going to come in our life where our devotion towards the Lord will be tested. And in those situations, we should remember these saintly personalities like Shivas Thakur, Yudhishthir Maharaj, and so many other personalities who are described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Remember them, and with that faith, do the right spiritual action with devotion to the Supreme Lord, and pass that test which Lord will offer to us. So this is how we have to grow in bhakti. So we stop here. This purport is completed now.
It's completed, right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If you have anything to ask, you may ask now. We will continue for the next verse.
A similar incident happened in Mahabharata also. Like
Yeah.
Lord Krishna did not revive Abhimanyu,
Yes,
but he protected Parikshit Maharaj.
yes, correct.
So Abhimanyu was Arjuna's son.
Hmm.